Should you hold dollars, should you hold euros, or should you hold sterling? Okay, well, let me give you the pluses and minuses, try and give you an impartial opinion. Why is the dollar strong at the moment, and what, of course, could change? So first of all, let's have a look at the US dollar. It's appreciated this year. It's high. Why is it high? US economy is seen as being more flexible. In other words, companies can change things quicker. They can lay people off quicker than they can in Europe. They can adapt the economy quickly. So therefore, it's seen as an economy that whilst it may go into a semi-recession, it can actually change quickly and come out of recession faster. Interest rates are higher than they are in Europe. So in other words, if you're an international person and you're looking for an interest rate, you put it in US dollars because you can get interest, and you're in an economy that can actually change very, very quickly. There's some negatives I'll explain in a second. Let's go to Europe. Europe, you've got zero rates. As I've already said, you've got an economy that's less flexible. So if we actually compared those two, you can see why people are gone and US dollar is king. If we look at the UK has suffered more inflation. Therefore, interest rates have risen. But that would seem to be a good thing if you were comparing it to America, where you've got interest rates. But it's a less flexible economy. It's got issues with Brexit, and it also has a potential for a winter of discontent. We've got Liz Truss is appointed as the Prime Minister in the UK. Her policies that she said in order to get the votes of the Conservative members are policies that would be frowned upon internationally. In other words, what does she want to do? She wants to reduce taxes. Reducing taxes right now potentially increases inflation. Of course, it also means it's eating into the government reserves. She says that she wants to spend money on helping people with their electricity, which of course is extremely important right now. But again, it's adding to UK debt. So the UK, and if you look at sterling, the price of sterling has gone down. It's depreciated in spite of the fact that you've got interest rates. If Liz Truss continues with the policies that she says, again, you would expect further depreciation of sterling. So let's go back to the dollar. The dollar's high. That's, of course, given it this advantage if the US wants to buy a company. So if they wanted to buy a company in the UK or elsewhere in the world, if they're buying, it makes it easier for a US company to expand and grow, gives it an advantage. However, if it's exporting, so if it's buying, that's great. If it's buying in, it's not good. In other words, the US is paying more for goods that it's bringing in, and that could stall the economy. In other words, companies like Apple, like Tesla, they buy goods from outside in order to produce their goods, their products. And of course, if the dollar becomes too strong, it actually causes an issue, and it causes the US economy to stall. So there's a limit to how far the US dollar can go. It's also seen, of course, that there could be potentially social unrest in the US. Shouldn't completely rule it out. Many people say it won't happen, but 61% of Americans believe there will be a civil war in the US within 10 years. So whilst we see these events and perhaps we dismiss them, actually we should take them on board. Like if we look at Europe, interest rates are going to increase. They have to because of inflation. Of course, Europe's still got this problem where it's lots of different countries, and of course lots of different countries with different tax rates, different rates of inflation. Again, could that cause an issue for Europe? Okay, well, right now the euro is priced down, but you would expect, and that actually has an advantage for a country like Germany, provided they can keep their energy supply going, because they manufacture goods and then they sell those goods. In other words, the price of the euro being low is a massive benefit to Germany, provided they can solve the energy problem. Europe actually can do well, and actually the euro could go up, provided they can collectively keep everyone together and they can actually make sure that they have more flexibility from their employment laws. We'll see what happens, and of course many people want to hedge their bets and say, well, where am I going to end up? Okay, as an investor, you always should look at the longer term and say, what currency am I ultimately going to want? If you don't know what currency you're ultimately going to want, then you of course would diversify. If you know you're going to end up in euros, then I would suggest right now you put your money into investments and lean towards the euro. If you're going to end up in a country whereby you've got US dollars, okay, well then you're limiting your risk if you invest into US dollars. If you're a Brit, what should you do? Okay, well right now of course the sterling is low. Will it go lower? Potentially it could go lower. Okay, UK, you've got a potential for this winter of discontent. Okay, if you, again, don't know where you're going to be, spread, diversify. If you're a Brit, at some point, it would be sensible to put your money into sterling. Okay, we don't know where the bottom is. We don't know where the recovery is. People are starting to move into sterling from US dollars right now. That, of course, could continue. And if all of a sudden you see a change in direction, of course, those people will appreciate the money. Currency is notoriously difficult to actually judge for the future. If you look at currency funds, you find they're usually the worst performing funds of all funds. In other words, even FX managers find it difficult to manage and make money in the FX markets. Some point, sterling will recover. Will it be after the winter? Okay, will it be now? Don't try and judge the bottom, in my opinion. If you're actually somebody that is going to be returning to the UK and actually needing your money in sterling, I wouldn't change it all overnight, because yes, it could go lower. But I'd be looking at sterling if that's where you're going to end up. So right now, high dollar, low euro, low sterling. Okay, at some point, that will change to some extent. It has to, just simply and solely because of the way those countries operate. I'll watch with interest. I'll put the information out on this YouTube channel so you can keep up to date and you know what you should be doing from an investment point of view, from an currency point of view, and what it takes to be successful in life. Please like the video if you gained some information that was of use to you. Please share, and of course, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.